Have you ever seen the original Toxic Avenger? The 1984 version that had chaos in almost every scene? From Melvin falling into a vat of toxic waste and transforming into a bulked-up radioactive superhero, to Cigar Face and his crew of criminals wreaking havoc on the town, to the particularly gory ways he handed out justice, it's shocking that nobody suggested a therapist to help anyone process all the trauma. But guess what? You don't have to be transformed into an unrecognizable mutant superhero to see the value in therapy. It's perfect for anyone who wants to explore their thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a safe environment. That's why BetterHelp is sponsoring this video, because everyone needs a space to help them navigate the ups and downs of life. BetterHelp makes doing all of that easier than ever. There are no waiting rooms and none of that awkward small talk, and you can talk to your therapist by phone, video, or message. And if they aren't the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. You don't have to just deal with whatever life throws at you with no help. Head to betterhelp.com/CinemaSins and get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/CinemaSins. Having this warning instead of a warning that even though this movie is only 82 minutes, it feels like 382 minutes. Also, why did they capitalize the C in contains? There's a period at the end, so this is presumably a sentence, right?
New York City, the world capital of culture and industry.
Citation needed. Why does this health club block out all its windows and use a cheap vinyl banner instead of a real sign? Ah, the 80s, where you could make a scene of people working out at a gym and doing aerobics feel like a sex crime. Imagine being named Jennifer Baptist. The pressure to be a good Christian must have been intense, and yet she chose to star in this super sinful movie. Good for her.
Oh, mop boy. Can't even mop right.
Whoever wrote this dialogue has never been bullied or done any bullying in their lives.
Look what you did, you fucking asshole.
Oh, so I'm going to stop right here and give the movie 50 sins for terrible dialogue and 50 more for terrible acting so that I don't have to keep sinning each thing every time they happen. I assume eventually there's something that occurs in this movie that made it a cult classic, but it's clearly not the writing or acting, because damn, with a capital F.
See what you did? You Bozo!
Did the actress turn to look at a cue card mid-line reading because she forgot you stressed bozo? Run it back again.
Bozo!
I think she did. Also, his name is Bozo? You named the bully of this movie's opening scene Bozo.
There's only one muscle you gotta worry about.
The penis is not a muscle, it's an organ.
Fat!
Bozo pinches his belly's loose skin and calls it fat. Also, after finding fat in his belly, Bozo immediately starts doing a lot more bench presses, which are, of course, universally known to reduce belly fat. Oh, I get it. I've been sending the dialogue, but now it's clear there was never a script and someone just filmed these actors doing stuff and tried to stitch it into a film afterwards. It immediately gets a lot better once you realize this.
Are you sure no one will come in?
I paid Tony $15. He said the place is ours till tomorrow morning.
Then why didn't Slug spend the $15 on a hotel room? I doubt the Tromaville hotel industry was charging much more than that per night in 1984. Also, these two are here at the gym after hours to next to these wide open lockers with stinky towels and socks hanging from them. Sexy. Look, have sex wherever you can, I say, especially after hours, but there's a better than zero chance this bench hasn't been wiped down yet after a day of being a bench in a locker room.
The Puerto Ricans? They're worth 30 points.
Just when you thought things couldn't get more racist.
Now, kids under 12, they're worth double points.
But what points are they doubling? Julie just so delicately listed off different ethnicities that were worth 20 and 30 points. So are kids under 12 worth 40 or 60 points? I don't know how you expect me to enjoy on-screen vehicular mayhem if I don't understand the goddamn point system. Movie doesn't Death Race 2000 correctly.
Skippy, don't forget your helmet and be careful out there.
Be careful. There have been a series of hit-and-run killings that are happening often enough to make the local newspapers. Why is Skippy even allowed to go ride his f***ing bike while all this is going on? I think the true villain of this movie is Skippy's sister. As they back up rapidly to further kill their victim, I just realized the perfect double feature for this movie, and it's Pain and Gain. Another movie where a group of unlikable killers struggle mightily for a great while to actually do a killing. Taking photo evidence of your child murdered. This is a terrible group of workout students, as none of them is even remotely doing the same thing. How is this guy's spatial awareness so bad that he doesn't realize Slug is right behind him, and how does he not feel Slug messing with the back of his shirt? Why are they copying his snake removal movements, as though they are genuine exercise movements, as though none of them saw the guy dressed in all black who just came in here and put a snake down the instructor's pants? Melvin knows these assholes do not like him, and two of them have even threatened his life, but yet he still hangs around and creepily stares at them constantly. I'm not saying Melvin deserves to be toxic wasted by them, but I'm also not saying he deserves to be toxic wasted by them.
I didn't mean to be so nasty yesterday.
Sorry, but I'm much more interested in the conversation just behind and to the right of this one. What is she saying to the dude she has pinned to the wall? I feel like it's some form of just try me, motherfucker. motherfucker, and I love it. We take you now to a semi-truck barreling down the road with a large warning sign on its grill telling everyone it's carrying high-tox chemical waste.
Hey, the boss will have our asses. You know he don't want us to stop in habitated areas with this radioactive chemical waste we got in the back.
He doesn't care that the barrels of radioactive waste don't have lids on them?
I don't like to go out with them anymore.
He falls for this. The director and set decorator had a massive disagreement over exactly how much evidence was needed to show that these guys were getting drunk mid-toxic waste delivery. How do you get a sheep to only bleep once the lights are turned on and the joke is exposed?
You're so soft, Julie.
Also, did Melvin think that Julie had grown an insane amount of wool on her body in the time it took him to get to the pool? Because that's the only way this trick gets pulled off. I'm honestly shocked this movie had the budget to break a window. Also, did he just land on a fucking mattress? Your Honor, I'd like the record to reflect that while my clients should not have simply parked the truck in the middle of a delivery run, their drinking did not in fact have anything to do with the unfortunate incident between the mop guy and the uncovered barrels of toxic waste.
I think he's in trouble.
Julie, who savored a child murder the previous night, is now showing concern for Melvin wriggling around in his toxic waste state. I know this is the point of the movie's superhero origin, or whatever he is and all that, but if you think this movie isn't getting 100 sins for Melvin surviving this, then welcome to the channel. Hope you stick around. There will be crab cakes later. While I can't show you the popping bubbles of toxic skin on his arm right now, it's clear that this scene is where the movie started, and everything else was written around this.
If we don't take the dough, I'm gonna give him a blow!
Technically, I think Officer O'Clancy should be paying you for that. Here, he's already cocked the gun, but the trigger is not in a squeezable position. Looks like it's already been squeezed. It's an ABS trigger. So we just saw Toxie throw Cigar Face, and then when it cuts back to the other two, we see Toxie raise up in front of them, but he was already standing. So after throwing Cigar Face, he bent down and raised up again for reasons? Because it's an 80s fight scene, at least one character has to know karate. I kind of thought he was going to be more toxic. He's just big and strong. I thought his powers would be toxic waste-based. The Toxic Avenger is a dick to dicks.
I've never done anything like this before.
I'm gonna jump right over he can talk and go straight to that's what his voice sounds like?
Now, you will raise your hand and you will ask one question at a time.
Why is there this much press at a town of 15,000? Hey look, they put something genuinely funny in this movie.
Knuckles and Nipples were hated by everyone.
Well, I'm no fan of Knuckles. They know what they did, but I've always been a pretty big fan of Nipples. How's he walking around unnoticed in broad daylight? Is that a Sunny Delight bottle?
Oh, Ma.
He gives his mom a heart attack and then he goes, "Aw, Ma," sounding like Chris Griffin on The Family Guy. What are the odds that there is already a perfect home for a toxic waste monster, but that he'd also just stumble upon it on foot? No one will be seated while the toxic monster tidies up his new apartment. Apparently the mayor lives in a house with an indoor garden lattice and greenery. These set designers really just threw everything at the wall.
You are aware, of course, that would replace our new toxic chemical dump just 20 feet from the reservoir for the entire area.
This scene makes it seem like this is super important information and the main villain plan that Toxie will have to thwart. This is never brought up again. Not being able to come up with a name for your fictional Mexican restaurant better than the Mexican Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are the entertainment for this afternoon.
And now you know where Joker got his opening line at Harvey's fundraiser in The Dark Knight.
No thanks.
Never do a murder while doing a fast food robbery is like burglary 101, man. So there's this website called Does the Dog Die? And it will tell you about all kinds of awful triggering stuff that might be in a movie you're about to watch. And yes, the dog here dies. In fact, holy shit, this man just shot a seeing eye dog. 100 sins for the movie thinking this was somehow necessary. Jesus Christ.
I always did want to cornhole me a blind.
Jesus. Are we sure this movie should exist? They locked up Song of the South for forever, but this thing is still out here in the wild? Why would a taco place have real katanas on the wall? Why would a taco place have any kind of katanas on the wall? We just saw tortilla chips fall all over this asshole when he landed, and now there are taco shells on him instead. And I just don't give a shit. Still sinning it, but want you to know my heart's not in it. Milkboarding.
No! We were only kidding!
You were only kidding? You murdering, raping, seeing eye dog killing assholes were joking? Man, what's he gonna do if he has to stop criminals in a place that doesn't have mops?
Could you take me out of here, please? I'll never make it by myself without my dog.
Well, I'm sure you will. You'll just fall down a lot along the way. And then the Toxic Avenger takes the blind girl on a walk to Lookout Point. But also, the guy who became a monster finds love with a blind lady who can't see his monsterness was well covered by the Fantastic Four comics from 2 decades prior to this movie even existing, so...
I better get my cane.
Sometimes this movie wants to be a gross celebration of special effects and weirdness, but other times it wants to be a Naked Gun movie, and the two tones never really gel together.
Well, boys, what have we got here?
Looks like we've got a nice crispy taco supreme over here, Chief.
I hate this movie.
Oops. sorry.
I don't want to start a whole thing here, but she doesn't actually seem all that sorry to have touched the toxic cock. Why does the Tromaville Police Department have a large theater-style seating room for 60 people, as though it's actually not a police department but a college classroom?
Is it true that the monster only attacks bad people?
There have been 2 monster incidents. Can I get a probabilities expert in here to fully explain how much data is needed in order to make the kinds of determinations being requested here? Also, this movie is suggesting there is a universal definition for what constitutes a good person or a bad person, and that's terrifying. Being this secretive with the money exchange, but then having your entire stash visible to anyone passing your open locker. So now Toxie is just able to sense where the bad people are and will go around assassinating them even if they're not in the middle of committing a crime? That's fun. They established earlier that Slug will sneak up on Wanda while she's in the sauna dressed up like the Elephant Man. So even if we're buying into this Toxie now has an internal radar that detects evil nonsense, then that explains how he knows Wanda is down here. However, how would he know about Slug's previous prank he played on Wanda? Melvin wasn't even down here when this happened.
Listen, asshole, how many times are you gonna pull that Elephant Man joke?
Does she really think this is Slug? Does she think Slug got an effects artist to put burn makeup on his arms? And what would that have to do with the Elephant Man theme?
Only 12 years old and only $12.
Why does this movie still exist?
I'm not just another pretty face.
It will forever be the biggest sin in this movie that they allowed the Toxic Avenger to not only speak, but speak more intelligently and with a higher vocabulary than anyone else in the movie by a factor of 10. This dude would be 10 times more effective at ending crime as a politician than as a vigilante. Doing a spinny newspaper transition without ever stopping the spinny newspaper to show us the headline. Children literally sitting in the middle of the road. It's not my responsibility to figure out whose fault this is, but it's sinful as That's a really odd way of saying, holy f***, was that a goddamn monster? Can you tell I shit my pants? So is his evil radar now also detecting when elderly people need help across the street? This power makes about as much sense as, well, Spidey sense. Also, this Toxie being helpful montage is on for all the some time. In back-to-back scenes, we see that TA merely touching a jar of popcorn kernels pops the entire thing, and then he grabs a baby and nothing of consequence happens. How are these kids who were too dumb to not understand the dangers of sitting in the middle of the road able to print up t-shirts this quickly? And who took this picture?
Almost all the criminals. He hasn't gotten us. Yet.
But why hasn't he? Toxie's sensory output tracked down the gym drug dealer who was giving his money to Mayor Bellgoody, so why didn't that same power put Toxie onto the mayor? The mayor was even at the f***ing health club at the exact same time. Jumping a guy you intend to kill by having 6 guys run up next to him and surround him instead of just having all 6 guys fire their guns at him from wherever they were before they jumped out. If you had the Toxic Avenger Jedi jumps away from the situation while the sound effect of a stoned out whooping crane plays underneath on your bingo card, you deserve the win more than I do.
Hey, what are you doing, Blondie?
Apparently she's managing to run into every single creepy guy in Tromaville. Sarah should play the lottery. She is very lucky.
Maybe I'm gonna be your boyfriend.
Movie continues to grope a blind woman in the name of comedy.
Melvin! Melvin!
I'm shocked she even needs to call his name, since he's simply shown up at the scene every other time someone in this movie was being assaulted. Melvin then shows up and the bullies run away and the movie goes on a romance montage worthy of the Wayne's World movies, as the Toxic Avenger enters its 7th genre so far inside of an hour. Aww. Yeah. Also, we can't show what happens after the kiss, but I have questions. We know Toxie urinates toxic waste, so I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume other bodily liquids are no different. So even though Sarah won't be dead after her insides have been cooked by toxic waste, she should be. She's frying 32 eggs at once, making Sarah move to the toxic dump when she has a perfectly pleasant apartment they could both live in. He does a bit where he pretends a common traffic cone is a hat, and he is tipping that hat, and she laughs, and wait a minute, she's fucking blind! The idea that she could be sitting on a tiny bench between walls of lockers and this fool could somehow maneuver himself under the bench and surprise her on one side without tipping her off or even bumping into her legs previously on the other side. Apparently when Toxie busted his hand through the open door, that also made the plank of wood bolting it disappear. What kind of superpower is that?
I cannot take this slug.
This dude cannot die soon enough.
You know who this is? It's Melvin, that's who it is.
Did everyone somehow not already know that the Toxic Avenger was Melvin? Thankfully, these cardboard boxes are full of clothes instead of, like, solid gold bars.
You want the wheel? Here, take the wheel!
The Toxic Avenger almost kills several innocent children just to kill Bozo. How does Toxie know that he will survive this crash? Just because he does doesn't make him any less stupid or lucky. Monster hero kills innocent woman. We only have like 12 minutes left in this movie. We don't have time for this kind of thing. How exactly is Sarah supposed to be able to get around all these toxic waste puddles? Why didn't they just stay at her apartment? That is somehow the dumbest plot choice in this entire movie.
It is not a human being. It is an it. You kill an it.
If they feel this way about the Toxic Avenger now, it's only a matter of time until they start going after the regular non-toxic Avengers.
Clancy, you will do what you are told, or you will find yourself walking a beat on the city dump.
Since Officer O'Clancy appears to be the only cop not taking bribe money, then why is he even still on the force in Tromaville? They didn't even have to fire him. They could have just transferred him or not made this movie.
But why would the mayor want to destroy something that does more good than the entire police force?
Think you just answered your own question there, pal.
We're gonna nuke the monster!
The National Guard does not nuke things. These large tanks pulled up without Toxie or Sarah hearing them. These f***os aren't National Guard. One of them doesn't even have a shirt. What the hell are they doing with rifles?
If you want to shoot my son, you'll have to shoot me first!
It's weird that all these people are coming to Toxie's defense when, as far as they know, he killed an innocent elderly lady at the dry cleaners. The mayor and police chief kept the details about her running a slavery ring to themselves.
Fire! No! I won't do it! These kids are right!
This works. I truly don't understand what just happened in the last few minutes, but the movie is nearly over, and that's something I can celebrate with a sin. I just want to point out again that all these people cheering Toxie on just witnessed him pull out Mayor Belgoody's intestines, and as far as they know, he brutally murdered an innocent elderly lady at the dry cleaners.
I would like you to accompany me to Taco Bell.
Woody Bench. Well, you tell first.
Julie, you smell something?
Oh, it smells like a used diaper filled with Indian food.
I mean, look at us, man. Like Superman. Come on!
Don't you think we deserve better?
This is fun!
Nerd!
Maniacal laugh.
Oh, you done it now, Jordy Verrill? You monkhead!
Any of you f***ing pricks move! And I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you!
You find that man!
Wolfman's got nards!
I have one question, Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
Baby!
And she's an acrobat, Ted.
No,